Lie number one. You guys have heard this, but let's just reiterate it because we are in a dangerous place in America. And I'll be honest with you, the solution, obviously, for us is to pay more attention in this particular situation. Call out our congressmen, our senators, state and local officials. We all have to become more involved. We all have to become more aware. But the first lie that we were told, the first lie that we know now, is that Biden never told, or no one told Biden to keep troops in Afghanistan. That's what Biden said. Did you guys, by the way, hear the chants when Biden went to the congressional baseball game? I don't want to go all over the place here, but that's our commander in chief. He didn't get a great reception. But no one told Biden to keep the troops in Afghanistan. That's huge, right? That's absolutely huge. Biden completely lied about it. The guy's a habitual liar. The first lie the senators exposed was Biden telling ABC News George Stephanopoulos back in August that no one advised him to keep 2,500 American troops in Afghanistan. And we know now every single one of them did, from Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin to the Joint Chiefs of Staff, regardless of how you feel about them and how I feel about them. Milley, the same is true with U.S. Central Command Commander General Frank McKenzie. So they all admitted that they had agreed with the recommendation to keep at least that many troops, and that they were heard by Biden and basically ignored by Biden. Under questioning by Senate Armed Services Committee Ranking Member Jim Inhofe, McKenzie admitted, I recommended that we maintain 2,500 troops in Afghanistan, and that he was confident Biden heard all of his recommendations. So the question is, did Biden forget? Did Biden just ignore? Under questioning from Senator Tom Cotton, Milley also admitted that it was also his assessment that there should be a steady state of 2,500 forces in Afghanistan. Austin said their input was received by the president and considered by the president for sure. So we know that our president is a complete and utter liar when it comes to what happened in Afghanistan, or at least the recommendation of keeping troops behind in Afghanistan. You know, sometimes I go back and forth. I'm like, okay, with this guy Biden in the White House, how is he completely off of his rocker? Is he just unable or incapable of remembering anything past a couple hours or so? And then sometimes I wonder if he's just a jerk and a mean person who just, this is the way it's going to be. I'm not hearing any other suggestions, and, you know, screw the country, basically. No matter what happens, happens. Sometimes I can't lie. Some days I come in here and I'm like, yeah, and I do, listen, there's no doubt, just looking at the man, he's not completely there. I know that. But I just wonder how much he's able to retain. All right, so Biden claims that al-Qaeda is not in Afghanistan. So that's the second lie that Republicans thank God exposed. And I'll be frank with you, I thought that these military officials were going to come in there a little more prepared. Their opening statements seemed good and well and legitimate and all that kind of good stuff. But once, you know, it's something that they always say in court. Everyone looks good. Every witness looks good until they're cross-examined. And that's exactly what happened with every single one of these guys. So the second lie that was exposed was that Biden was saying on August 21st during the White House press conference, that al-Qaeda was gone from Afghanistan, and thus the U.S. had no vital national security there. And then Senator Dan Sullivan asked Milley, was al-Qaeda gone from Afghanistan in mid-August? Is that true or not true? And then Milley responded, al-Qaeda is still in Afghanistan. They were there in mid-August, and they were also asked to respond. McKenzie said al-Qaeda was present in Afghanistan. Under questioning from Inhofe, Austin also said, Senator, I think there are remnants of al-Qaeda still in Afghanistan. And we all know that to be true. I don't think there's much of a difference, if any at all, between the Taliban, al-Qaeda, ISIS-K, al-Nusra Front, any one of these groups. They're terrorists. They're Islamo-fascists. They're terrorists. They hate you. They hate me. They hate the nation of Israel. They think they're the little Satan. They hate the U.S. They think we're the big Satan. But what's disconcerting to me is none of these military officials were willing to take a stand and say, you know what, Mr. President, I disagree with what you're doing. This is the wrong action to take. I'm going to resign. There is a soldier that has paid the price for that. There is a soldier that has paid the price. He's in the brig. We'll talk about him in the next segment. A third lie, Biden promises to leave troops until all Americans are evacuated. And I should say, listen, we have a civilian commander-in-chief. The vast majority of the blame lies with him. But we also have a social justice warrior in Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin. We have a social justice warrior and somebody that's just seeking fame when it comes to Mark Milley. And it needs to stop. We're in crisis mode, folks. This is Carl Jackson in for Larry Elder. We'll be back.